how it looking. All right, how my box looking. Good. Okay, now we can start. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. All of you guys are obviously new since this is my first video. Just to introduce myself, my name is Janelle. I am a 10+ year Atlanta native masquerader. I figured that I'd make this video for all of my first time masqueraders or anybody that is looking to get into Carnival but don't really know what to expect. Whether you're sipping something, eating something, or just trying to see something, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button just to stay up to date for all of my content. I will really appreciate it. Let's get into it. Let's get into my background a little bit. So as I was saying, I am a Atlanta native 10+ year masquerader. So I have been doing Carnival ever since I was about 13 years old. And as soon as I got into it, I absolutely loved it. The parade is just such a different vibe. You're just around people that understand. Like, you could go out there and act as wild as you want, dance as much as you want, do whatever you want, and it's a complete judge-free zone. I absolutely love my culture. I was introduced to it by my mother. My mom would compete in different competitions. She absolutely loves individual costumes. My mom is the person to go to when we're talking about flair. Since this video is going to be debuting right before I go to Atlanta Carnival, this Q&A will be specifically based on Atlanta Caribbean Carnival. There are two. There's Atlanta DeKalb and there is Atlanta Carnival. Both pretty much the same thing, just different areas and different bands. I will be playing in Atlanta Carnival with Mass with Panache this year, and I'll be doing Juve with Entice Mass. So our first question that we have is, what is a good first time plan for a masquerader? The first thing I would say is do your research. Do your research. So pick a city that you want to play mass in. For this one, we're talking about Atlanta Carnival. So what you would do, or what I do when I'm researching different bands, is I go straight to Instagram and I hit that search button. So what you're gonna wanna do is look up, let's say Atlanta Carnival, right? Just scroll down and you're gonna start to see different costumes, different bands, and just find one that you like. Once you find one that you feel, or a costume or section that you feel like you like, stalk that Instagram. Stalk it like nobody's business. You want to make sure that whoever that you're playing with is an established band, especially for your first time. You don't want to take the risk, especially when you're spending money, serious money, on the costume. Make sure you do your research on the band. See how long they've been playing in the city. How well do they know the different types of routes and the different processes that it takes to go through doing Carnival. What do a lot of their people say? What do a lot of their masqueraders say when it comes to the band? These are things that you're gonna want to know. And pick a top 3. My top 3 that I absolutely love are always going to be Mass with Panache. I love We Kinda Ting. And I feel like Inferno is pretty good too. Mad Colors too. Mad Colors is a good one for Atlanta. Speaking of doing your research and figuring out what you're gonna spend your money on, the next question is, what is a beginner-friendly budget, or a budget that you should expect when you're looking for these costumes and you're getting ready to pay for your costume? So prices do vary. They vary based off of the city that you're playing mass in. They vary off of the costume, like the type of section that you want to be in, and the feathers. Feathers are expensive. So let's get into the different types of sections that you do have when you're playing Carnival. We'll start from the lowest all the way to the top. So first you have what is called the backline section. Backline is the least expensive option. It could be maybe like a bodysuit or maybe a 2-piece that might have a few gems here and there, but more than likely it's just the base fabric. Doesn't have too much. You might have a little bit of crown, or you might have like some foot pieces or something. Those options tend to go anywhere from between $300 to $500 depending on what the designer has included for that section. Next, you have the midline option. Midline is a little bit different. So when you've got a midline section, it's kind of like backline. It might show just a little bit more skin, might have some feathers, you know, not anything too crazy, but this is the top one that I recommend for first time masqueraders. And the reason why is because the size of the backpack is a lot easier to maneuver because it's smaller and it doesn't carry as much weight. So especially in let's take Atlanta for example, there's a lot of people around. So if you're not used to the feathers already, something like a midline would be perfect for you because you won't have to do too much maneuvering with your feathers. And it's a pretty good cost-effective option as well. These sections probably could go from anywhere between $500 to $700 depending on who you're playing mask with. The last one kind of goes, there's two options that you can use for this one. It's my favorite. Absolutely, because you know your girl is extra. And that is going to be your front line or your ultra front line sections. So obviously these are the most expensive options, and it is because you have the most feathers. You got the nicest rhinestones. More than likely it's a wire bra. Your feathers go from here to here, you know, it's just the whole shebang. And this is the one that I normally get the most questions on because it's like when you see Carnival, when you think about Carnival, the thing that you see is those big feathers. And of course you're gonna be like, oh my God, I need it. That's gorgeous. That price is not so gorgeous. So when you're looking at an ultra frontline or a frontline section, they could go anywhere from between 800 to 1,000, maybe 1,200 max is normally what I've seen. It's a lot different when you're going to places like Trinidad, St. Lucia, Jamaica, anywhere like that. It of course is going to be a little bit more expensive, but in the States that's normally what the range tends to be. And it's because of the feathers and the gemstones, like I was saying. So ostrich plumes these are the plumes that you see in the back. Those are the most fluffy feathers and whatnot. Also the, what is it called? I'm drawing a blank. Peacock. The peacock feathers, those are very expensive. Some of them can go anywhere from between $10 to $25 a piece. So that's where that is going into. So of course everybody loves the big feathers. I love the big feathers and I'm gonna pay it, but I know how to maneuver it. I wouldn't recommend anyone doing it for the first time because if you don't know how to maneuver your backpack and if you don't know how to carry the weight of your backpack or headpiece, more than likely backpack, then you're gonna find yourself annoyed with trying to go through that crowd with those huge feathers. Let's talk a little bit about what else is included in the price outside of your costume. So specifically me playing with panache and we kind of think these are the things that are included in your package. So of course you get entry into the parade and the carnival itself, which is where all the vendors are, the food is, the artists are playing, all of that. So of course you have entry into the band and you have entry into carnival itself. Okay, that's all off-rip included. You also have access to food. They give you breakfast, which normally is like a chicken patty or, you know, it has drinks. Drinks are included as well. Water, you'll have water there. And then at the end of the parade, they'll give you food, which is normally chicken and rice and some type of vegetable and drink. That's normally what's included. They also have little mask packages as well. So when you pick up your costume, you get a bag and it comes with different types of goodies that might have the band's logo on it, just like specific merchandise for you as a masquerader. That's what's normally included in the package. So not only do you have your costume where you're paying all this money for all of the feathers and the gemstones, but you're also paying for entry into the carnival, food, alcohol, and you know, just the good time in general. Somebody else asked me if the feathers ever get me in trouble. Like, do I ever hit anybody? I'm sorry to say this, but all the time. All the time. But over time, I've learned to maneuver my backpacks. I like to stay on the outside of the band most of the time so that I'm not getting so much traffic and I'm not hitting anybody with my feathers. Because they're, as I was saying, they're not cheap. So if you're bumping people and you're moving around too much in the middle of the crowd, then yeah, they're gonna get messed up. And if each one of them feathers costs all that money, I'm not trying to have nobody mess up my feathers. But I mean, it is what it is. It happens. If you're dancing and carrying on and acting a hot mess like I am, then it's gonna happen. You know, not all of your feathers are gonna look exactly how they did when you started the parade at the end, but it'll still look really, really good. You're not gonna, especially with panache, they have really, really good quality. So you're not gonna come back after the parade and just have nothing but, you know, a few branches of feathers just here and there. You're gonna be fine. It's not that deep. How to stay hydrated. Let's talk about that. The week before Carnival, you're going to want to just drink a bunch of water. You don't want to just go out there in the hot sun the day of and just drink some water and think that you're going to be fine. Don't do that. Drink your water. They also include, they'll be passing out water on the truck. So they'll have a truck that will be behind the one with the speakers a little bit further back. If anybody needs any food or if anybody needs any water, you can just walk to the back of the truck. They'll give you your water. You can jump back into the band. But yes, absolutely make sure that you stay hydrated because it is hot. And I do not want you falling out in the middle of the pavement. That absolute party fail. Just do your best to stay hydrated. What is the best part of the march or the parade? Ooh, I would say the vibe. Like it is truly an undescribable feeling just being around people that just don't care. And when I say don't care, I mean like they're just there to enjoy themselves and just let off some stress, dance, listen to some good music, drink. That's just the vibe of Carnival. You just go out there, you look forward to it all year. You just go out there and you just have a good time. You look to your left and your right and there's people with their phones out just recording you. You see the kids on the side and you could like dance with the kids and, you know, do your thing. And it's fun. I would say that the best part about Carnival itself is just the vibe. It's something that you can't get anywhere else. What is the worst part? The worst part is the walk back. The worst part is the walk back. Because after the parade, you have to go find your car. You have to walk all the way back up to find your car again. And imagine you just walk through, you stomping, you're dancing, you're acting a hot mess. And at the end of the parade, you are exhausted. That walk back that's the end of you, I'm telling you. Something I wish I knew before starting. Not necessarily anything that I wish that I knew because, you know, I was bought into it a long time ago, but also my mom was already well into it. So I already knew pretty much what I was getting myself into. But if I was going to tell you guys something about something that I think that you all should know, or, you know, just a bit of advice before getting into it, do it. That's all I gotta say. Do it. Do it. Just don't think about anything else but doing it. I mean, if you've been watching different pages and you've been seeing all these celebrities doing it, seeing me do it, and you're just like, oh man, I wish I could get into it, but I don't know how. Follow these steps. Research. Make sure that you do your research and look at different bands. Look at the costumes. And go ahead and make the down payment. If you're worried about the money, most of them have very, very flexible options for a payment plan. You do not have to fork out all of that money at one time. So if that is your sole purpose for thinking about holding off, not only is it 110% worth it, but it will be an experience that you will carry for the rest of your life, even if you just do it once. So that is my main point, you know, just do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I can't wait to share the rest of my journeys with you guys. Be on the lookout for my next videos, which should be including Juve and Atlanta Carnival for this year, 2023. Also, just to let you guys know, it's probably not too late right now to join in Atlanta Juve. If you still want to just do Juve, it might be too late to register for a costume for Carnival, but Juve is still also a very, very fun option. We'll get into that a little bit later. I'm playing with Entice Mask for Juve, and if you want to go cut up with me, come cut up with me, then you can do that. Go ahead and get your nice body wear, get that powder, get that paint, and let's go out there and act a fool. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.